You are convinced that ADHD looks like hyperactive children bouncing off walls. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Some of the most intelligent, introspective, creative adults on Earth have ADHD and never realized it. Because adult ADHD does not always look loud. Sometimes it looks quiet. Sometimes it looks like still water over very fast currents. Sometimes it looks like a mind that refuses to sit still even when the body does. Now pay attention, because in the next minutes, you might finally understand a pattern that has followed you for years without a name. Sign 1. Your mind is busy even when your body is still. You look calm on the outside, but inside, thoughts run like traffic with no red lights. You are thinking several things at once. Your brain never fully shuts up, and honestly, it gets tiring. Sign 2. You procrastinate not because you are lazy, but because you are overwhelmed by the starting point. You can stare at a task for hours. You know it needs to be done. You even want to do it. But beginning feels like pushing a car from a dead stop. Here's the strange part. Once you finally begin, you can enter hyperfocus and finish in one intense burst. Sign 3. Your brain is addicted to novelty. You love new ideas, new projects, new possibilities, but maintaining consistency feels harder. You start things with fire and abandon them in ashes. People think you lack discipline. What you actually lack is dopamine stability. Sign 4. You absorb emotional signals instantly. You sense tension before anyone mentions it. You feel discomfort before anyone expresses it. You pick up micro shifts in tone and body language like an emotional radar system. This is not hypersensitivity. It is hyperperception. Sign 5. You feel time differently than others. 5 minutes can feel like 30, and 3 hours can disappear without warning. Your brain does not track time linearly. It tracks urgency and interest. Psychologists call this time blindness. It is neurological, not irresponsible. Sign 6. You are either bored or obsessed, almost nothing in between. Tasks are either impossible to start or impossible to stop. People might call you inconsistent, but your brain is consistent. It follows one simple rule. No stimulation equals no engagement. Sign 7. You struggle with things that seem easy for others. Returning messages, remembering appointments, following routine tasks, keeping track of objects, maintaining order. You are not failing simple things. Your brain simply was never built for linear efficiency. Here is the misunderstood part of ADHD in adulthood. You might look inconsistent to others, but internally, you are deeply consistent with one principle. You need interest to ignite action. Your brain craves meaning like oxygen. Other people think you are forgetful, but really, you are selectively forgetful. Your mind discards what feels irrelevant and remembers what feels important with intense clarity. Someone tells you a story from 10 years ago and you remember their tone, their posture, their facial expression, and the exact emotional atmosphere of that moment. That is not absent-mindedness. That is emotional indexing. People might think you are disorganized. Sure, your desk might look chaotic. But if someone touches your pile of controlled chaos, you notice instantly, because there is a logic to it only visible from inside your head. Others think you are impulsive, but your impulsivity is not random. It is emotional acceleration. When something finally clicks, your brain goes, "Do it now before the doubt catches up." And here is a secret strength. You adapt fast. Your brain is used to jumping between ideas, processing multiple channels, absorbing data quickly, and improvising solutions. This makes you excellent in crisis. While other people freeze, you become mentally sharp. Your brain loves momentum. You are also surprisingly perceptive. You notice when someone is struggling, even if they hide it. You pick up patterns in behavior that others overlook. Your intuition is not magic. It is accelerated pattern recognition, and perhaps the most misunderstood part. You feel emotions intensely. Your highs are higher, your lows are lower. Your enthusiasm is contagious, and your boredom is legendary. This can make relationships challenging, But it also makes you deeply empathetic because you feel other people's emotional frequencies as if they were your own. These are not weaknesses. These are the other side of the ADHD coin, the part nobody told you about. Now the science. Psychiatrists like Dr. Edward Hallowell describe ADHD not as an attention deficit, but as attention inconsistency. Your mind does not fail to see things. It sees too many things and struggles to prioritize. Dr. Russell Barkley discovered that ADHD is not a problem of focusing. It is a problem of directing focus. You were never bad at concentrating. You were bad at controlling what you concentrated on. Studies from Harvard and MIT show that ADHD brains have reduced dopamine receptor sensitivity, which means your brain is not motivated by obligation. It is motivated by stimulation. Dr. Gabor Maté suggests that ADHD is not a failure of discipline, but a form of emotional regulation shaped by early experiences. Your sensitivity and intensity are not defects. They are adaptations. Knowing this removes the shame. Many adults with unmanaged ADHD experience imposter syndrome, working memory anxiety, decision paralysis, chronic overwhelm, and the guilt of unfinished projects. Dr. Thomas E. Brown calls this executive function impairment. It is not about intelligence. It is about cognitive control. Do not call yourself lazy. Do not wait for motivation. Do not use guilt as fuel. Do not assume other people's brains work like yours. Your brain is not defective. It is simply different. Here is what helps. Instead of forcing attention, capture it. Give your brain something to chase. Instead of to-do lists, use time blocks. Instead of trying to concentrate by sheer will, use physical or sensory anchors. Instead of trying to be better at focus, reduce friction from starting. Make the first step tiny. Tiny is achievable. Here is the identity shift. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not a failed adult. You are built for depth, not repetition. For insight, not routine. For intensity, not monotony. Your job is not to fix who you are. Your job is to understand how you operate. Once you do, everything changes. You stop fighting your brain and start cooperating with it. You stop apologizing for how you function and start designing your life around it. If you want a calm place that helps you understand your mind instead of judging it, you are welcome here. Subscribe to Mind Expander. Expand your awareness, improve your life.